Welcome to the season premiere, season 3, as I'm chugging along on Don't Waste Your Time. This video may not be for you. This is the aftermarket shows. Yes, I'm finally on the season that I really get psyched about. I mean, I am so psyched to start showing and sharing all of the aftermarket items I've done in this car. And quite honestly, you know, I've been pushing out these videos once a week. And I have so many aftermarket items, I actually can do about 6 months. Obviously, one show per week. I can actually fill up about 6 months worth of stuff I've done to this car. That much. You know, I never thought that you could put aftermarket items in a Tesla, especially when I bought my car in 2015. Buying the car in 2015, it was kind of a taboo. It wasn't really known. Maybe out in California it was, but I live in Southern Maryland. Right, so I didn't know too much about Tesla. I started tracking Tesla in 2014. And then in 2015, I said, man, you know, I think I might have to pull the trigger after I test drove Tesla in Washington, D.C. I ended up buying this car. I test drove this car in Rockville, Maryland. And I picked up delivery in Rockville, Maryland. And I remembered my delivery experience like it was just yesterday. White floor, red logo in the background, car all nice and clean. I was so impressed. I had lots of tears in my eyes, and after about an hour and a half of getting acquainted to the car, I didn't understand what the guy was saying. I was just so awash of emotion. I wasn't really paying attention. I just kept telling my son, remember everything that he said. But the thing that stuck out to me that he said, after we finish this, you might want to take your car to a detailer shop to get it looked at. And I was quite surprised when he said that. He said Tesla's QA process is not the best. And as you know, okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call from one of these robocallers, so I apologize. But anyway, when I was at the Tesla dealership in Rockville, he was telling me a lot of stuff I really didn't understand about the car, how to get in the car, the 17-inch screen, you know, you're just overwhelmed with information. So the last thing he told me, that one thing I remember, the last thing he told me was, after you finish here, get your car looked at, checked over by a bona fide, qualified car detailer. And I was a little taken aback. And he said, you know, as you know, the QA experience in Tesla, they are hit and miss. Back in 2015, it was really good. You know, now with the Model 3, there was kind of, you know, hit and miss. But he said, still, just take a look at it. Get your car looked at. Don't have to cost you anything. And so I took my car to a place called Speed Freaks out in Northern Virginia. And I went to Speed Freaks and I told the guy basically what was suggested. He put my car under some bright lights, and yes, indeed, I did have some scratching back here where I'm pointing at. I had some scratching and some swirl marks. You know, I love the word swirl. I had swirl marks on the car. And so basically what I decided to do was to get the Modesto clear coat on my car. Also, too, I had an overspraying of my windshield right up here. On clear, sunny, bright days, sometimes I can see that overspray. It's something like looking through a cloudy glass, and it's the spots are, I would say, something like hard water spots. But whatever material that Tesla sprayed the car with, it got on my windshield. And it's been tough to try to get it off now. After 4 years of owning this car, I think I finally got it all off, but just some days I can see it and some days I don't. But anyway, so I went on and I got the Modesto cleaning, and that was the first thing I started to do with this car as far as aftermarket products. Now, obviously clear coating, wrapping your car, getting paint protection film on your car, that's all aftermarket. But again, this is kind of new territory for me, so I checked it out, and Modesto worked for me. However, Modesto stopped having their products online. So I used to use their products, something like the Quick Detailer, and they stopped using the Quick Detailer. And I couldn't quick detail my car with Modesto products, so thus I went away from that. And as you know, I now do my car after so many car shows, 5 car shows. I won 5 times. Now it's beginning to be a lot for me to do these, get this car ready. But again, you never know. I might jump into a car show at any given weekend. As a matter of fact, the season finale of season 2, someone gave me a flyer and said, you know, there's a car show in August. So I'm like, doggone it, don't tell me that. So I might participate. But anyway, so Modesto, I got Modesto in the car, and that was the first thing that started this aftermarket craze with me. Now, as you know, I clear coat my car. Well, yeah, you guess I can say I clear coat my car because it takes about 2 days for me to clay bar it, As I told you before, I iron X the car, I wash it with 2 buckets, I wax the car, and then I seal the car, leave the seal overnight for 24 hours, and I remove it. Well, in actuality, I'm doing something similar with clear coat or all of that hard work. But I spent 21 years in the military. And spending 21 years in the military, you learn all kind of shortcuts on how to clean and shine your boots. And there was, when I was a young private in the military, we had those black boots that had to be spit shine. And when we spit shine our boots, for those who served in the military, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We take a little bit of kiwi, we take a little bit of a baby's diaper or a cotton ball, we dip it in water, and then we light it with the match, with the wax on the boot, on the toe of the boot. And then once that wax melts in the toe of the boot, and then we remove it with the wax with the baby diaper and or the cotton ball. Then I had a thought, wow, I bet I can do that with my car. So I did an experiment a couple of weeks ago, and you know what, it worked. You know, instead of taking a match to my car, what I did was I took this Black & Decker, let me come out here in the sun, it's a cloudy day today. I took this Black & Decker box right here, and this is a dual temperature heat gun. And I put wax on my car, just a little bit, just to see if it works. And I heated the Black & Decker heat gun on the wax, took a little bit of water, and I rubbed it off, and it works. You wanna see? I'm always experimenting. See right here, there's the wax part right here on my car. All right, see if I can do this with one hand. So I take this right here, this heat gun, turn it on. Get that heat. You see how it's kind of beating up right there? Now, you can kind of see now the wax is kind of spread. It'll beat it up just a little bit, right? Then I'll take a little bit of water, like this, just hit it like that. A little bit of water. You see that little mist right there, mist of water? And then I'll take this rag here. You know I don't like swirling, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go side to side, side to side, side to side, side to side. Rub it off. Kind of tough doing it with one hand. That's one of the cloths. Remember I was showing you about all the different type of cloths I have? And then I would just take a thicker cloth here and just polish it, and oh my God. Same thing, bam! Same thing, look how shiny that is. Same exact thing right here. Oh, that feels so good. Man, I might have to do my whole car like that next year. But anyway, I digress. All right. So getting back to my aftermarket items in the car. Once I started, honestly, I couldn't stop. So much so that I have a sheet of information of all of my aftermarket items in my car. And it all begins right here with the exterior. A list of aftermarket items I have used for the Tesla. So you see the wax coating Modesto. Now I started using the wax products with Pinnacle Sovereign, and then you can just see everything that we're going to discuss in season 2. Exterior items, interior items, so much so I even have the back page. That's how much stuff I put in the car. A lot of stuff, and I love doing it. So let's quickly discuss the first thing, and then we will end this episode. So we talked about Modesto, just a hair. The first major thing I did in this car, when you first buy a Tesla or any car, you don't think about putting aftermarket items on it. I don't know about you, but I did not want to do that. I just said, I want to get the car. I love the car, and I got these high car payments. And basically, I want to drive the car. So I ended up buying this book called Owning the Model S. I got to come back out here because, again, Here, I bought this book here called Owning the Model S, all right? I read this book from cover to cover. 2015, that you have to remember, so a lot of stuff is dated. You see the old school car. I got to the end of the book, and lo and behold, there was a page called Customizing and Accessoring Your Tesla. So they started talking about wraps. And I was like, what? And wheels. I was like, what? You can do this? And my son saw this right here, this black Tesla with these wheels. And my son said, you should get these Vossen wheels. These C4, these are 22-inch rims. You should get them on your car. That would look nice. And I didn't know anything about how expensive wheels were and are. I went online and I said, you realize I have a car payment, right? No way I can afford these wheels. No way. Lots of money just wrapping the cars now. So I ended up calling Vossen headquarters out of Miami, Florida, and I made an inquiry about these C4 wheels that were offered that my son liked in that book. And again, I didn't know too much about them, but I knew one thing: they were very pricey, but they looked really nice. When I talked to the spokesman, he said, today is your lucky day. They are discontinuing these C4 wheels, these particular wheels that I have on my car right now. They were discontinuing it. They're making new models, and they needed the floor space to get rid of wheels. So what he decided to do, and what he told me, he was going to give me a discounted price for my wheels, $500 per set. And I'll explain that in just a second. I jumped on that right away and I said, okay, we're good. So he shipped the wheels to Baltimore, Maryland. And I had a small problem with that because my favorite football team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. But he shipped my wheels to Baltimore, Maryland, in the heart of enemy country. So I made the drive to Baltimore, and when I got up there, the guy said, man, you must got a good deal with these wheels because we never seen a discounted wheel like this before. Again, I didn't know what the guy in Miami did for me, and I'll explain that in just a second. So they put the wheels on. So if you notice, I have P1 tires made by Pirelli, and here 245, 40, 20. That means they are 20-inch wheels. Mostly all Tesla come with 19-inch wheels, right? So he sent a 20-inch wheel to me, and they installed them. And then on the back, he gave me a 20-inch wheel, but the tire size was a little thicker, and there are 285. So what the guy in Miami did was he gave me a $500 discount on the first set of wheels, the front wheels, and he gave me a $500 discount on the rear wheels. Okay, so a $1,000 discount off of these wheels, and that was really cool. So the only thing I had to pay for, obviously, was them to install. They actually painted my emergency brake and my calipers, by the way. Let me show you that right there. So there's the emergency brake. They painted that, and then they did the calipers for me. They painted those. So to install them, to wheel balance and all the other stuff was very minuscule compared to the price that I paid for these tires, these wheels. These wheels would have cost a lot more money if they didn't take off $1,000. So I was very grateful for this. So this is the 285 20-inch wheels, 285, 35, 20-inch wheels on the back. And you can see that they're a little bit of see that deeper dish there. And then on the front, you have the two 45s, 40 and 20-inch wheels here. So it gives it a little bit more slightly aggressive stance. So when people see my car, oftentimes I get some compliments on my wheel. The rear tire, again, is a little bit fatter than the front tire. And again, I was very, very happy with it. You see how fat that tire is in the back. So that was the first of many things I put in my car as far as aftermarket items. In season 3, we're gonna talk a lot about aftermarket items. Again, thank you for watching this video on the beginning of aftermarket items on my car. Yet another aftermarket item that I purchased was the Tesla tire stem. I got this from Amazon.com. Very easy, very simple to install. Obviously, you get 4 of these, and then you just take your old tire stem off, and then you replace it with a new one, screw it on, and there you have it. And that's what it looks like. And this is what they look when they're on the tire, but they're so small you can't even really recognize it. And here comes the wind blowing, so I gotta zoom out really quick. See, there we go.